Hey y'all, Chemology here for another Chemology exhibit. Today's exhibit, I should always check this before I start, or should I just stop saying what number? It's 27. I'm going for 30. I imagine I'll go beyond that. And 30 is the current, has been the target. Still no noise canceling stuff around here, that was the dryer. So for today's topic, I actually was thinking about how I was having when I was thinking about what I wanted to do for today for the topic. I'm actually feeling pretty low energy, stressed, having some hesitancy to even say those things, because what if that is coming across as like my regular mood, and that's off-putting, and that's not what I want to be to people. And what I really want to be, though, is always authentic. And so when I was thinking about what do I want to talk about, and I also thought, well, let's not be redundant or had fear, worry, anxiety, doubt, insert those kinds of emotions there. I was thinking, but that is what's going on, and I'm not the only person who has those thoughts or those feelings or those experiences. Or just because I did a video about my dog dying 2 days ago doesn't mean that I can't still be having that going on and still even share or express about it. And I'm sure that comes up, I know that comes up for me outside of being a content creator. It also comes up in like my personal, individual, like my relationships. Sometimes don't you have something going on, and maybe it's going on for longer than you think it should be. And have you ever had the thought, like, maybe I shouldn't be bringing this up, or maybe I should be over it by now, or maybe I shouldn't talk about this again and again? It feels like you're talking about it too much. So that was part of what came up, because I'm not here to like be fishing for stuff to talk about. If it's not there, it's not there. So I noticed myself like thinking like, oh, what today versus like what's really going on, and I didn't like that. So glad I didn't do that. And so what am I thinking? What am I feeling? What's going on? Do you care? I continuing to have a significant stuff with Dooder. A lot of thoughts about, is it time? And they're not my thoughts, and that's part of the whole dynamicness of the situation. And also about doing this work, exploring different platforms. I posted a video on TikTok day before yesterday that got a lot of heat, and it was on a topic that I'm like, is that even important to me? Like, is it worth it? And then defining things like worth it, like what are you doing and is it worth it? And that goes back to the topic that, you know, if you've been following some, that I'm passionate about, which is like when to express and when not to express yourself. And if you think you're going to say something that may not be well or positively received, do you stay quiet and not say it? And if, like, what are those things? It just continues to be really, really fascinating for me. Maybe because I still don't have mine entirely figured out, or I just feel like there's something there. I've always said there's power in sharing, and I've never really articulated that beyond that. It just feels like a truth for me. So I usually default to that without any more worked out, just that it's powerful. It can be powerful that that's not true. I have worked some of it out. I think that when we share, there's a saying that we divide sorrows and multiply happiness, or something like that. And that's not one that I resonate with, but it does make me think of, I love it for the possibility of what it creates. Like, if I share something, it puts possibility out into the world that someone else might see it. If I don't share it, you can't see it. If you can't see it, if you can't be aware of it, then you can't discern or decide whether you like it or dislike it, or use it or don't use it. So I guess it, for me, starts with the sharing. It's like a very starting point of a thing. If you don't share, what opportunities are missed or not created? And I guess the opposite would have to be said to be true, that if you do share, or if you don't share, there are equal opportunities there as well. Like, you're not taking up space to be aware of. I don't know. That might be one of those ones where I would think it better in writing than with my face in front of a video. So yeah, not real clear thoughts today. Not great energy. Aware of it. Feel like I could say something like I don't know what to do about it, but I do know what to do about it. I just feel like I can't really do it, and then can't isn't a word that I subscribe to, so lots of contradictions in my own thinking right now, which is always an indicator of stress or disruption. None of those things are necessarily bad. Stress and interruption, disruption are great things too, and this whole experience is a great thing too. And now, that's something I can talk about. That was something that came up for me today, because I realized that I have shared about the hard time, especially about Dooder. It's been a hard time. I've said that, I've used that language a bunch, I think, and I thought maybe I haven't done a great job about sharing the well-roundedness of that it's not just a hard time, that I'm not just over here suffering and miserable and sad. I think we often share our extremes, and that's what social media gets a bad rap for, right? Like, we only share the great or the highlights. And for folks like me who try to share more than that, or not just that, maybe we are guilty of sharing the lows without evening it out. That was a thought, because I shared something today and it went in a direction of something that I was just like, what have I done? In what ways has what I done affected that opinion, you know? Because it was like, man, it's just not that bad. But whatever I have put out there is what that person is using to assimilate that perspective. So it was enlightening, or it was something I noticed that maybe I haven't done a great job about sharing the breadth of the whole situation. Those are my thoughts. And then that was a thing in a previous topic where I said, do you really need to say that? Because it's obviously my thoughts. Like, who else's thoughts are those, Kim? And even if they are someone else's thoughts, because there's a whole thing I say about regurgitation and not really having your own thoughts worked out, they still are your thoughts on a level, you know? So anyway, today's exhibit, that's what's up. Thanks for being here. Ciao for now.